What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a beautiful summer evening here in Findlay, Ohio, and Anderson and I are hanging out in the beer shed, getting ready to check out a new beer. What's going on, my brother?
Well, we've had a quite eventful day. Went to the dump, went and picked up a desk, went and picked up your son, and I am definitely ready to have a beer after all that nonsense.
I agree, dude. I think we've earned this one.
I am happy that my trailer made it to the dump and back because we had that thing way overloaded.
But we got there.
Those tires were looking a little hurt.
Nobody died. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt. We got there. So the beer we have today is called Sink Fast, Let's Go. And this is from Wake Brewing from Rock Island, Illinois. Now, this is a brewery I've never heard of. And this beer is a special collaboration with the band Napalm Death. So, I've heard of Napalm Death, but I can't say that I've ever listened to them. I don't really listen to metal that much other tn Viking metal, because I do like a Monomarth, or whatever you want to call it.
And that is very true death metal, like...
Well, these guys are old school,
but they're legendary.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
legendary.
I've heard of them like from years ago, Napalm Death. Like
they've been around forever.
So, this is what? This is an homage. That's the name of one of their songs, Sink Fast, Let's Go?
Yes.
I assumed as much, right? Or else, why would you call it that?
And it was brewed for the Decibel Magazine Metal and Beer Fest that they started having a couple years ago. They usually have it in like Philadelphia and I think Denver or somewhere close to the West Coast. I've never had the opportunity to go yet. I'd love to go because it's just it's like a beer festival with a bunch of metal bands playing.
Someone got to hire my boy to sell some merch at the festival.
I just never had the opportunity to go.
Would you rather work it, or would you rather just enjoy yourself and drink beers?
I'd rather just enjoy myself and drink beers.
Fair enough. Don't hire him at all. He's not interested. So this here is an ESB with peppercorns. I actually love ESBs. It's one of the styles I think that I first started drinking when I went to England, probably in college. I remember a lot of what you drank there would just be bitters in ESB. And initially I didn't really care for them. They were too bitter for me. Nowadays I think they're a bit tame, now that my palate's a little bit different. But thrilled to be able to give this one a shot, man. You ready to give it a try?
You want me to read the blurb on the can?
Yeah, go for it. Ooh, that's tough. That's small,
it is
right?
tiny writing. Wake Brewing is the cauldron of artistic brews from the brothers Paris, Jason, and Justin. Hope I read that right. Featuring daring ales that walk the high wire and appeal to the eyes as well as the palate. And immaculately composed classic styles where simplicity leaves nothing to hide behind. Our creations challenge your conception of what beer should be. Riff infused since 2017.
All right, sounds cool. So
Man,
this
I really made some awkward pauses in that, trying to read that fine writing there.
Well, it's black on white at least. I didn't do anything too weird with the font.
But the writing is a little tiny.
Yeah, it's a bit small. So this is a 4.8% ABV brew. Couldn't find anything on the IBUs. Does pretty well ratings-wise. Untappd 3.98. Although I will say there's only 94 check-ins. Beer Advocate out of 4.04. But I think that one was like really low number as well. Probably single digits.
So I don't know where this originally came from or how it got to where it...
I accidentally poured that pretty damn close.
To where I acquired it. But I was lucky enough to be at Milwaukee Metal Fest a couple weeks ago in Milwaukee, obviously. Mm-hmm. At the world-famous Eagle and Rave across from the Ambassador Hotel. Mm-hmm. And down in the Lamb of God's dressing room, I was hanging out with Jodi from King Diamond. And she handed this to me. Pulled it out of the cooler and handed it to me. Figured I'd like to have it.
Very cool.
So I'm not sure how it ended up at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Don't know what the provenance is, but it got there.
But thanks, Jodi, for grabbing this for me.
Yeah, very much appreciated. I'm glad you shared it with me, my brother.
Absolutely.
And did you say the Ambassador Hotel?
Yes.
Wasn't that where Dahmer did some of his work?
Yes. Right across the street.
Menacing. All right, first things first, let's look at the color here. This is a magnificent color to it, man. It looks really good. So if I break this Brew HQ chart out...
Ruby red, almost?
Yeah, it's in that ruby red. The ruby red section here looks like it's in the 20s. So it's dark outside. I'm holding it to the light, so it's hard to tell. It does look ruby red when you hold it up there. You get some fine bubbles going on, but you can only really see them when it's held. Oh, when you hold it up to the light, there's actually a ton of carbonation.
There is. It's very carbonated.
Holy crap!
It's like champagne carbonation.
Oh yeah, really fine, tons of it. What would you say numbers wise? 22 or 3, something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, decent.
22, 23, somewhere in there.
There was like a khaki-colored, caramel-colored head. Probably about a finger's worth initially. Dissipated kind of quickly, but there's still like a thin layer of a head there. It hasn't completely gone away, but it shrank.
No, but it's definitely hanging around.
Yeah, it looks good. Let's give it a sniff. ESB with peppercorns.
What is that? It's almost like a citrusy smell.
Yeah, I think I had read on Untappd or somewhere, wherever they gave the description of this, I think they said the peppercorns were supposed to give it like a citrus aroma, which is odd. I didn't think peppercorns would do that, but it appears that it does because that's what it smells like.
Yeah, it's definitely like a citrusy smell.
Kind of like malty and citrusy.
That's just big citrus to me. Big time citrus. Like when you're peeling an orange or
It smells good.
something along those lines.
It smells good.
It does.
Let's give it a shot. Cheers.
Cheers.
The body is surprisingly lighter than I thought it would be. I expected a little bit more of a body to it. I would say it's medium light, probably right on the cusp.
Right on the line of
Right on the
medium
cusp
light.
of light to medium. Usually when I have ESBs in England, they tend to have a little bit more to them. They're not full or heavy or anything, but they're a little bit more to them. I don't even think it's that distracting though, but it's just kind of caught me off guard initially. Taste, solid. I think a lot of people get scared of ESBs because maybe not now because we live in the hop craziness days, but traditionally I think a lot of people would say, ooh, ESB bitter, and you think of the bitter beer face commercial in the years past, and was that Keystone Light?
I think so.
And people would not want to try it. I always kind of dug it because it did have a little bit of flavor to it, a bit of bitterness, a bit of hoppiness, and I think it did separate itself from a lot of the other beers that are out there. For me, for this, I think I'm picking up, you definitely do get a little bit of the bitterness coming through. I think you get maybe a tiny bit of a malty backbone to it. And you definitely pick up the peppercorn, citrusy kind of whatever it is.
The peppercorn's an interesting flavor. It has it has added an interesting dynamic to it.
And does it say what kind of peppercorn it is?
It said something. Said something with
Szechuan or something.
Szechuan, yeah, something like that.
Like
something weird.
like in Chinese food, right? Like the Szechuan province of whatever. I think that's what it said. I don't remember if it was here when we read the Untappd thing. I think it said Szechuan.
I think it was on the Untappd where it said that.
Yeah.
This just says bitter ale with peppercorns.
I think when you hear peppercorns, you think black pepper spicy, and it's not that. It's more like I don't know if it's like more of an aromatic kind of flavorful thing, but not just like black pepper hot. Not the black pepper super hot, but you know what I mean, like a spice thing to it. There is a tiny bit of a peppery element to it, and you definitely get a little bit of a citrusy thing going on for sure. And then you do get a little bit of the nice bitterness like you'd expect in an ESB, and maybe a little bit of a malt backbone to kind of round it out.
It's an interesting combination I don't think I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And it does complement the ESB very well.
Yeah, I dig this. I wasn't sure, ESBs love them, wasn't sure how the peppercorns would play into this, but I think Wake Brewing, you guys did a magnificent job with this. I really like this one. It's something different for sure.
I can't say I've ever had an ESB that was more than just an ESB.
Yeah.
Like when you see ESBs, that's all they are. There's ESBs.
Yeah, you kind of
It's
know
not
what
like
you're
some of
getting.
these other beers that you have different adjuncts and weird additives and things to them. Mm-hmm. Usually ESBs is just, it's an ESB.
Yeah.
So this is cool to have something, a style of beer that's not brewed very often, not out there a whole lot, and then have it with this
Paired
wild
with this festival
pairing.
and with this, iconic metal group.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really cool. For me, Wake Brewing, big thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big thumbs up. Thanks again, Jody. I really appreciate you saved one for me or
Thanks for
pointed me to the way.
saving one for Anderson, and thanks for sharing it with me, my brother. So we both like this beer. Hopefully you like this video. If you do, please give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you tried this beer? There's only 94 check-ins on Untappd, so I doubt too many people have.
That surprises me for being a beer for a beer and metal festival. I would have thought there'd be a lot more people checking into it.
Well, maybe a lot of the metal people aren't really into Untappd.
But it's a beer and metal festival, so there's got to be a lot of beer nerds going there.
Yeah, you would think. Oh, whatever. It is what it is. If you've had it, let us know. If not, I don't know. Let us know what other ESBs you like. If there's any other ones out there we should be looking for. Hey, till next time.
Cheers.